So the first thing that you have to work on is you have to make sure that you start creating powerful and very strong thumbnails. They make a difference. The next thing, so after you have the thumbnails, the next thing that you need to work on is on your titles. If you call your website, if you call your video number 34, 45, nobody's going to find it. So you really need to find out a title that is going to be easy for the search engine to actually say, okay, I know what this video is all about. Maybe they're going to start showing it to people. The third thing, and this is the most important thing, is you need to work on your audience retention. I have seen a ton of people creating videos, and they are interviews because they interview somebody which was very important or whatever, but their audience retention is less than 5% or 10% of the time. So basically, for example, if the video is 20 minutes and they only watch about 2 or 3 minutes, then that means that, you know, this is not worthwhile content. As you can see here on the Toilet Paper Diaries, because of course we're thinking of having an impact in what we are doing, we are trying to change everything to keep everything interesting. And that's why Dave and I try to make it fun and everything so that people keep on watching. I mean, we somehow have had episodes that we go for 2 hours and we know that people are still watching. Yeah, it's true. So that means that we actually can get the audience retention. Why are you laughing, Dave?
Because when we get to 2 hours, I want to go home, but we know we're still going and people love it. So there we go. It's rock and roll.
Exactly. So that's exactly the point. So basically what you need to create is you have to create videos which keep the audience watching. That's very important. Point number 4, you have to figure out what is exactly the kind of content that people are watching. So you should be able to see, there's a tool that is called TubeBuddy, TubeBuddy.com, TubeBuddy. You can download it. I mean, it's a freemium software, but it will give you all the insights in your YouTube channel in what kind of audience are people watching on your channel or someone else's channel, so that you will be able to create that kind of content. That is just very important. Next thing that you need to start doing is you have to have some target topics. You should not be doing content because, of course, you think it's interesting, because you are not your audience. You have to figure out what are people looking for, and that's the kind of audience that's the kind of content that you create. For example, this is the reason why, because of course, I mean, we have a strong feeling about the Black Lives Matter and about the COVID and about all these things. But the reason why we are mixing all these into the mix of all the content that we create is because, of course, that's what people are looking for. So that's what we provide, and that's a very important thing. And also, a very important thing that you need to have at the very end is something that is called an end screen. What is an end screen? Possibly you have seen those videos where they actually recommend you another video from your own channel.
Shall we show them exactly what an end screen would look like?
That would be a great idea. So why don't you go for it?
Okay. So we hope you've enjoyed this show. The Toilet Paper Diaries goes out every single week, and you can join myself and Ernesto every single week and get more great information. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you share it, and we'll see you next time on the Toilet Paper Diaries.
See you soon.
That was just a mock-up. Don't go. But that's what it is.
Yeah. So that's exactly what an end screen is. So that's great that you're actually putting this into perspective, because I think it's also super important. And I think with all those little bits and pieces, first of all, having the thumbnails, the titles, making sure that you have audience retention, and giving people what they want, the target topics, the end screen, and I'm going to give you the very last one, which is consistency. The last one is the most important, I think. One of the reasons why Dave and I are consistently making content is because, of course, even 1 week without you creating a proper piece of content is going to actually have repercussions to your channel. So that's why it's so important. Now, one last thing that you need to learn about YouTube is that YouTube is not going to make you famous because you're going to have a viral video and that viral video is going to really explode. That's not how it works. The growth in YouTube is exponential. First, you have 2 people watching, then you're going to have 4, then you're going to have 8, then you're going to have 16, then you're going to have 32, and it's going to continue. And I think a healthy channel It's a channel that basically grows exponentially. But now what happens is if you have all this amazing content, what's going to happen is that you're going to have a tiny little, imagine that you have a video that is watched 6,000 times, 7,000 times. That video itself is going to all the time be feeding you next prospects and next customers, and you're gonna start really becoming very prominent on the YouTube world. So those are my points on how to become more impactful on YouTube.
Yeah, wonderful. I was going to add to it with where you're talking about consistency. One of the key things about consistency is probably best explained by looking at the old world of magazines. So if you're buying a magazine on a regular basis, like for me, I used to read Empire magazine all the time, all about movies. But 1 month it doesn't come out. So you look across the magazine shelves and you find a different magazine, which is all about movies. So you get that and you take it home and you read it. The next month when you go back, maybe Empire would be in place, but you've also got that one that you read the month before. You might only want to buy one. So which one are you going to get? Are you going to go back to the other one, or maybe stick with the one that you've just started working with? That's what happens with consistency. You create a need and an interest to a certain niche. But if you don't fulfill it, they'll look for somebody else to fill that gap. And if that person's better at it, or more shiny, or more consistent, you have a problem getting them back in again. So that's why it doesn't matter whether it's a frequency of once a week, or once a month, or once a day, or several times a day. You want to make sure that you filled that gap.